Hey you guys, what's going on? Hey guys, this is just going to be a foundation routine tutorial. I'm going to be going into foundation, concealer, contouring, highlighting, blush, bronzing, and that's about it. I did not include my eyebrows in this tutorial or my lipstick. Let's do this thing. Alright, so first I'm going to be going in with my MakeupForever Ultra HD foundation in the shade Y205. I'm mixing that with a little bit of my Nars foundation. All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation in Monte Blanc, light number 2, if you will. And then also with that, I just mixed in a little bit of this NYX Born to Glow Illuminator because I do have more pink undertones to my skin. So this is going to help kind of balance out some of those yellows that we're going to get from the Nars foundation. I'm applying with just Real Techniques Expert Face Brush per usual. It's wonderful. I'm going to start by just swiping a little bit on all over the face right there. And just kind of patting it in. And definitely bring that down the side of the neck as well. That way our face and our neck is not two different colors, because it's just not a good time. Go on with the rest right here on the other side, and I'm just going to keep blending and buffing this out. Like I said, kind of downward patting motions. Okay. Next I'm going to be going in with the Nars Creamy Radiant Concealer in Chantilly, which I think is the lightest shade. And for the placement on this concealer, we're just gonna go right there on the side of the nose, and then just kind of diagonal swiping motions right there down the cheekbone. Then we're gonna do down the center of the nose, on the Cupid's bow, on the chin, just right here. Don't go any higher than right there where you see that shadow starts to fall from your lower lip. And then right here in the center of the forehead, kind of drag that down and connect it with the nose if you want. You know, whatever you want to do. And then I personally just use the same Real Techniques Expert Face Brush to blend this out. I'm just going to blend that out. Really with this though, we're not going to be doing any swiping motions, patting motions only. We want to keep all of this concealer where we just placed it. And so kind of bringing that into the side of the nose. This is a really good trick for if you want to change the shape of your nose. Bring the concealer in to about right here on the side of your nose, and that's gonna it's gonna kind of move the shadows and make it appear as though your nose is already thinner. We're gonna go through and contour. Well, I contour my nose just because I'm self-conscious about it. You don't have to, but I'm going to contour my nose later, so we'll see how that all kind of ties in with the concealer. It just helps it look a little bit more natural. I think that's actually a drag queen trick, so whatever works. And do the same thing to this side, just blend that out. And then blend out the forehead as well. Only blending out the forehead, I'm just going to take it right here, kind of above the eyebrows, and then just pat it until it blends out right here. Really try not to take it any further than about here, because this is where we're going to bronze on the edge of the hairline. Just don't want to waste any product. To set my concealer, I just use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Powder in translucent. And I'm just going to take this small Sephora brush. It is a small contour brush, but it's really nice to get right here, like in the corners of the eyes and just all the really specific places that we put this concealer And I really like load my brush up with it. And then I'm just going to, not swiping yet, we're just going to pat it down. And let it really sit in there and set our concealer. We will blend that out later if there's any excess powder down, but for right now we really just want to make sure that we're baking it, is what it's being called, I believe. Contour, God bless. For my contour, I don't know what brush this is. I know it's a Real Techniques knockoff brush, if you will. I got it at Ross for like $3 and it has changed my life. I'm going to be using the Tarte Park Avenue Princess. What's new? It's a really, really nice, cool, just neutral highlight, or neutral contour shade for fair skin. I cannot say enough about it. But I really just take it and kind of load it in on this side right here, and it just disperses naturally throughout the rest of the brush. And what we're going to do is I fill out where my cheekbones are, right there, and I'm just going to take it and move it right along the edge of my cheekbone right there, blending down and kind of diagonal. And then we'll go through and just in circular motions kind of blend that harsh line out, and then just kind of keep going until you get the shape that you want. I prefer for it to come in right here, kind of get a little bit thicker right here, and then taper down. That's just for my bone structure. You'll figure out through trial and error what shape you want your contour to be. Alright, so now that we've got our cheekbones contoured, I'm going to take some more of that Park Avenue Princess, just kind of tapping off the excess. I'm going to go right here into my hairline, just very lightly, and take it all the way down right here to the temple, and really kind of focus a little bit heavier on the temple, because that's going to help this area of our cheekbone to look like it's higher, it's more lifted. And I'm just going to keep going in with that until I'm satisfied with how bronze my forehead is. Oh man, there's the craziest looking bird outside right now. Again, getting right in that temple, and just blending it into the hairline, so literally blend it to non-existence. My cat is eating so loud. Alright, and I use the same brush for all 3 steps of this. I know that that's not correct, that's not how you're supposed to do it. I do clean my brush in between phases, if you will, but it's a pain in the ass. So, I mean, ideally I would have 3 of these if I knew what brand they were, what kind of brush they were. God willing, Ross will get more. I'm going in with the pink blush shade from the Park Avenue Princess set, just tapping off the excess. And I'm going to go in starting about right here and just lightly kind of flick that on. Sometimes I truly do just go much harder than necessary with the blush. So I'm going to take that powder brush that we used to set our concealer, and just whatever product's left over on it, I'm just going to lightly tap it around the edges right here where our blush got a little bit too intense, and just use it to blend those edges out. We don't want to blend out the center right here where we have the most pigmentation, because I mean that it's counterproductive. Kind of get rid of everything we just put down, but just blend out lightly right here on the edges so it looks nice and smooth. I'm not mad about where we're at right now with it. You don't need a ton of it, obviously. And start doing that same thing to the other side. For my highlighter, I'm gonna be using the Kat Von D Thunderstruck eyeshadow. I can't say, I don't have good enough words to describe this to you. It's absolutely beautiful. Super, super, super flattering on all skin shades. I know I've seen several, I've just looked online and seen several people who are really tan, medium tan, yellow undertones, pink undertones, super, super fair. Everyone needs this. Everyone. So I'm just gonna dip it in a couple times. I mean, really, you do exactly how much highlighter you want. I prefer to be seen from space. So I'm just gonna go in, and right here where it starts, this little area right here that you can see that has not been bronzed yet, we're gonna start right there and just swipe down, back and forth until it starts getting that sheen on it, and then I'll go through with little circular motions and just blend it into that contour again, so we don't have highlight, contour, blush, face. It all needs to be well blended together, and that's all just about taking those little extra steps. Oh, God bless it. I love this. And that truly is. Definitely need some more on the other side now. There it is. So we're gonna do the tops of the cheekbones. Just dust it on your chin right there, because what we're doing is going to be hitting the high points of the face. So we're gonna dust it on the chin, right here above the Cupid's bow. Really just like, it dips in right there naturally, so we'd go right here, and it just dusts it across the tops of those. I'm not going to do the nose yet because we are going to contour the nose, and then I'm just going to tap it right here between the eyes, above the eyebrows, and kind of just dispersing it across the forehead. So we're going to contour the nose now. I'm going to be using my MAC 217 blending brush and my Tarte Park Avenue Princess bronzer, contour shade, whatever, you know, whatever you're using it for. It's going to take a very, very light amount on the end of the brush, just like that. And I mean, this is by no means the best brush to use for this. It's just what I prefer. And I'm going to start right, when you figure out where you're trying to start, it is just going to take some trial and error. I like mine to be right about here, so I'm going to start right here, not in the center of the nose because it's not where we want the most color deposited. So I'm going to just kind of make this curved line extending to the end of my nose and blending that up towards the brow bone. And we're not bringing it down the side of the nose. It's not what's going on here. Really just keeping it a straight line as possible, and we only want it to be about that thick. This needs to look like a natural shadow, and not bringing it down the side of the nose is what's really going to make a big difference in the end here as far as it looking natural. And I'm going to carry this right here under, you can see that, to kind of help take away how rounded the end of my nose is. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. It is definitely, I mean, I still struggle with making sure that my line placement is even on both sides, so, you know, no shame in it if you get it wrong a few times. It took me like a week, several months, a year at least. Okay, so we're just gonna again start right about here and make that slightly arched line. And just as you're going, even, you know, do what you got to do to even it up on both sides, but we don't want to bring it too far into the center, because I mean, we want to look like there's some nose left here, you know. You don't want that tiny little line where I don't know what I'm trying to say. Then we're going to bring that down on the end of the nose just like I did before, And I mean, this technique can obviously be used if you don't have a super rounded nose, if you're trying to kind of round off your nose, if your nose is too pointed, if you're uncomfortable with how wide it is, if you have a bump. I'll do a couple videos in the future as far as like addressing specific problems that you can correct with contouring, because corrective contouring is one of my favorite things. It's like getting, it's honestly, it's like getting plastic surgery without committing to plastic surgery. A little can do a lot. And I'm just gonna go in and deepen that color up a little bit more right here on the edges and bring that into the brow bone right there, just very lightly, so it all connects, looks natural. Now I'm going to take that big fluffy brush that we've been using, you know, for just things, whatever we need, and run it down the middle very lightly, back and forth, up and down, and just kind of pat it and run it down the sides, because we want to break that color up just a little bit, but not enough to take it away completely. So you see we've got our, it's probably about as much as I'm going to do today. I don't want to go any harder than that. And then again, I'm just going to take that brush that we used for our contour highlight, dip it lightly in the Kat Von D Thunderstruck, and just dust it lightly on the bridge. We don't want to focus all of our highlight on the bridge. And I just put a little dot right here, and I kind of skipped this section, so it's got a natural, kind of like it's turning up at the end. But I mean, you do what you want. So just run down the center of the nose. And that's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. If you have any questions, if you have any requests for things that you'd like to see in the future, you're more than welcome to let me know. You can leave me a comment or message me, whatever, you know, whatever you want to do. But I guess that's it. I hope you guys learned something useful, something cool, something I hope that whatever you were hoping to get out of this, you did. So I will see you guys next time.